What are the situations? So first situation is this chemical is out of domain. It's not covered. That means it has a function group that is not covered by the trainings of chemicals. Suppose I gave example before. Suppose your chemical has a boron in it, test chemical, impurity, and none of the trainings of chemical has boron in it. None of them. So you cannot test it. It's out of domain. So you just out of domain is basically no test. Or you might test it with two systems and you get inconclusive or equivocal result, or because of conflicting evidence. So one part of the molecule says it's positive, another part says it's negative. You might get inconclusive. Happens.
Does your software determine boron settings?
Yeah, it does. Now, pretty much. Now those things are there, but like 4 or 5 years ago, when the data was little, some of those things are not common. But now,
many of the reagents are boron based.
Yes,
Yes.
yeah, way too.
we have borons, but still sometimes we get out of domain after adding 70,000 chemicals. What happens? You might come with a very unique chemistry. It's a new type of chemical structure. Then also you can get out of domain.
The possibility of the results conflicting in two models would be very less.
No, it happens. We found out 70% of the times these two systems agree. They agree, both are negative or both are positive. 70% of the time. 30% of the time they disagree with each other. So, but disagreement is not necessarily problem. You can solve it by expert review, as I'm going to tell you. The example in the previous talk that was exactly like that. It was conflicting calls from two systems. Then the analog-based approach makes it better. Or the last one, when QSR fails, is that your chemical cannot be tested in QSR. It's a coordination compound like ferrocene, because the structure cannot be represented by covalent bonds. You cannot put it into the software. Or it's a large biomolecule. You cannot test like proteins or peptides, huge peptides, or say polymers. So it's a common question. What should you do when you have peptide impurity? So the answer that I found was that in case of peptides, you should not test the whole molecule. What you should test, if there is an unnatural amino acid in it, or the linker that you have can be a impurity, or it could be a breakdown product that might cause mutagenicity, or you might have an organic chemical that is impurity in those biomolecules. So that's another thing. So if these are the three main reasons why QSAR prediction fails. Out of domain, inconclusive, or the molecule cannot be tested. So if I say that our software can test everything, then you should never buy our software because it cannot happen. It's simply not possible.
For drugs, salt, you have to test separate base and salt.
Yeah. I would say that if it is a simple salt like sodium salt.
No, it is complicated. It's tartrate or succinate.
Yeah. Then if it is a bigger salt, one part, then you should test both of them separately. So what we do actually, Gianna told us, if there is a tool built inside the program, which is called Data Curator, which actually allows you to break the salts into two different parts automatically. You just click one button and it will automatically separate them into two different entries. Then you can test it.
In case of long-chain polymers, how do you?
So yeah, it's a good question. So in case of long-chain polymers, you should test only few unique monomers. Because if you test the whole thing, it's meaningless. Because the same thing is being repeated over and over again, it's not going to give you any insight. So
you won't be in a position to identify that which monomer will be causing that.
So no, you test only the unique monomers. right? So suppose it's a how can I say? It's a nylon, right? So nylon has same monomer repeated. It's not like two different monomers. So you just test one. But suppose you have a drug that has 2 or 3 different unique monomers, you should test only those. So you have to little bit do study what are the monomers in your system and test only those. Because if you test the whole molecule and if you test only part, the result is not going to be different. And the software may crash if you test a huge molecule. Okay. So now these are the most common questions people ask. What should I do if I get one negative, one positive, or one inconclusive and one autoplane, or something like that. So there are two different types of general situations. In one, you have clear outcomes. That means both are negative, both are positive, or contradictory. Negative, positive, positive, negative. So that's a clear outcome situation. Second outcome is in one or two, in one of those, you have either inconclusive or autoplane. So this is a different situation. That's a different situation. But going back 4 or 5 years, we had this situation. Like everybody, our customers, they will ask, you have given us both of the system. Now we are having this problem, like one saying inconclusive, one saying negative. What should I do? If it is inconclusive and negative, is it positive final overall assessment or negative? Or if it is autoplane in one and inconclusive in one, how can you give the final outcome? So we were in a difficult situation at the time. So what we thought that it's useless to give all the permutation combination to customer because it's going to be wrong. So we thought hard about it and we found that actually it can be solved only by analyzing the alerts, not by finding out what is the positive or negative outcome. Now, remember I actually told you that in ICHM7 guideline, let's go back there. What is the number of slide? 13. Let's go back. Yeah, here. This table, can you see in any of these rules, there is any mention of final call from the QSR? It never talks about that. It never says that if it is a positive prediction from QSR. It says alert instructor. Even ICHM7 guideline only cares about alerts. It doesn't consider positive, negative, positive, inconclusive, this thing, that thing. So there is no point in actually using the final calls if they do not agree with it. If both are negative, both are positive, yeah, then there is a good situation that you can say, okay, if both are negative, it's negative, both are positive, it's positive. But beyond that, everything else has a problem. Okay? So let's go there and I'll explain more. Okay, so here this is two general situations. Now let's cover individual ones. Before that, as I said, how do we generate an overall? I already talked about it. How do we generate an overall assessment by taking into account these two calls? Positive, negative, positive, both positive. So my take on this thing is, you can only do a justice if you have clear, agreeing calls. Both are negative, or both are positive. Only then you can say negative, positive. Even then, you have some problems. I'll talk about it later on. Expert review is a good way to handle contradicting and indeterminate calls. Everything else should be resolved by expert review. Absolutely, take it to your heart that is the way. No point in going into finding out what should I do if it is inconclusive and negative. It's not possible. No matter what anybody says. I have long and hard studied this problem. I never found any way of getting the overall assessment without doing expert review. It's just not possible. So, first scenario, easiest. Clear negative prediction from both the methodologies. So I would have said, okay, you are good. Then you don't have to do anything. But actually you have to do something. One of the reasons is that I was attending a conference in Delaware, which is a generic genotoxicity association. There, a Pfizer scientists were telling a story that they have an impurity, they submitted to FDA, and it was actually predicted to be negative in both the systems, statistical as well as rule-based. And they actually, even then, the FDA came back to them saying that, yeah, but we think that there is a functional group that might be reactive. Can you please give us some more theoretical assessment? So they actually went ahead and did quantum chemical calculations on those functional groups to find out if they could be reactive or not. And if I tell you, don't do anything if you get negative, it's not going to be a fair thing to tell. So these are simple things that you can follow to avoid problems. One is, it is of course clear negative parts from both. All parts of the query compound should be within domain. So all the chemical structure should be covered by the training set. It should not have anything that has not been present in the training set. All the functional groups should be covered. Okay. Weak alerts still can be present. Negative doesn't mean that it doesn't have alerts. As remember you asked this question that it's a weak alert and the final conclusion is like 25%. It's a negative call. But the alert has to be analyzed because ICHM7 doesn't say that. It says alerting structure. And last, which is the most important thing, is a rapid visual analysis should be performed on the chemical to see if there is a functional group that you think from a chemistry point of view could be reactive, which has not been considered to be an alert by both the systems. So it's up to you actually. The responsibility is on you to be as much as suspicious as possible. If you're not there, then it's actually a bad idea because then you'll waste more time in replying to FDA and your resources and money will be wasted. So the last thing is also important. In safety, I think being paranoid is more beneficial, I guess. I wish I could give you some other solution, but unfortunately there is none. Because every time I talk to FDA people, they say, yeah, you should still check it out. Scenario 2. Positive prediction from both the methodologies. Both of the systems say positive. What should you do? The reason is, of course, presence of errors. But the good news is that sometimes even after getting positive from both the methodologies, you can still do an expert review to refute the positive prediction. Refute means dismiss. So even after positive from both the systems, you can actually still conclude by expert review that it's a negative compound. There are all kinds of things that you can do. I'll cover some of them. Next, scenario 3. Inconclusive from one or both methodologies. So you tested it, one of the system methodology is telling that it's inconclusive. Now what is inconclusive? Inconclusive means that the software is not able to tell the clear call, positive or negative. Why that happens? It might have happened because of some contradictory features present in the chemical. So if your chemical contains a positive alert and then a deactivating feature somewhere else, it might bring down the calculated probability and make it inconclusive. Again, inconclusive calls are based due to presence of weak alerts. They should be dismissed by appropriate expert review. So expert review is the answer for all these difficult situations. And majority of the time it's an expert review for the alerts. Okay. Scenario 4. One of both the calls are out of domain. What do you do? Out of domain outcomes are the result of presence of uncovered chemical features. As I said, suppose none of the chemicals contain boron and your test chemical has a boron in it. It will tell you that I have no idea what this is. So it's a way to tell you to be more cautious. Maybe that uncovered feature is the alert. So the software tells you that, in a very unpleasant way. So outer domain outcomes can also be resolved by this particular. I'll tell you exactly how it does.
Excuse me, I
Yeah.
have a question. When you're developing the classification threshold, so you have 50%, for example, anything below is a negative, anything above positive, and anything close to the classification threshold is inclusive. How do you decide the classification threshold for a model? Like,
Oh, that is the classification threshold is decided mainly by the ratio of positive and negative in the training set.
okay,
And by the validation experiments.
okay,
We do not want to call something negative or positive. If majority of the time you see that that is the zone where it makes wrong difference. So how do we perform outer domain? What happens? Outer domain is going to be a problem for you. Outer domains are considered to be serious problems by the FDA, and they consider when you receive outer domain from a QSR, it basically amounts to no test. They consider it an invalid test. So how do you see? First is a visual inspection by the expert. That means whatever part of the chemical is flagged out as outer domain, you should check using your mechanistic knowledge or chemist knowledge. Is that going to be a reactive group? Reactive means, is it going to react with DNA? So for example, like for example in this chemical, we can take this chemical as an example. Suppose this part is flagged by the system as unknown, right? So now you can actually see that there is an amino group which might be reactive, but this group is actually an inert group. It's a tertiary butyl group that can never be reactive. So you can safely assume that this is not actually outer domain really. It's simply that the system never saw this kind of cases. But on the other hand, suppose you have an outer domain where you have, instead of this, you have N. It's a pretty serious group. I don't even know if this is reactive or not, but it looks reactive definitely. It has few heteroatoms, double bonds. Those are all unsaturated and reactive species. So if this is present with, say, here you have chlorine, and this group is flagged unknown, then you cannot dismiss it. That means it could be reactive, it could be DNA reactive. So that's the importance of visual inspection. Also, you can check between statistical system and expert rule-based system. If one of them is telling it's a clear negative, if it is, then you can say that statistical system might not cover it, but the expert rule-based system is covering it. Sometimes what happens actually, suppose somebody is using our software and they get outer domain in one of the statistical models, but when they analyze it with the bigger model, farm window, they say it's clear negative. Then it's not outer. So you can actually check with a bigger data, which is actually say compare with analysis structure from database is bigger structural properties. So you can actually use a bigger database that we have already.
So,
Yeah.
if in a compound there are two functional groups, one is present in your database and other is not present in your database. So you should show out of domain or
It will be outer.
will be out.
Yeah.
Unless and until all the functional groups are present in your database, it will show out of domain.
Yeah. Like just presence of an unknown thing will be outer.
Out of
Unless it already contains a known alert. Because if it is a known alert, then it's already positive. So if it doesn't contain any other reasons of toxicity, but it contains something unknown, then it's an alert. Right?
there any compound known which has been displayed positive in these systems and still it is being used? It has not without the systems showing it has positive.
You mean
Acetyl oxide. Currently, EMA has released paper on that, white paper. The software is showing mutagenic and it is now.
yeah, because of TMS. Yeah, lots of compounds. I mean, there are lots of compounds which will be positive or negative, and the QSR system is telling that it's negative or positive.
Silicon oxide is general.
That's a wrong prediction made by the system.
EMA released a paper
Right.
regarding that.
So-
it is not treated to be non-genotypic.
By the way,
Silicon oxide it's a Michael product.
Ah, yes, but it is toxicity is established.
by the way, I can proudly say that our system makes mistakes, because if the system is 100%, I can tell you that if our QSR is accurate 100% times, it's not possible, absolutely, because of one reason. Even Ames test is not 100% reproducible. If you do a Ames test on a compound today and you repeat it a couple of times, you might actually get a different result. It's 85% to 90% reproducibility. So when the biological system is not reproducible, how can we assume that a prediction system is going to be right? So that's sure possible. So that's the reason why we update our database regularly, so that it becomes more and more accurate. Yeah, check if the uncovered functionality may have known metallurgic reactive mechanism. So if you check it and you find that this could be a reactive, there is double bond, triple bond, those are reactive moieties. Then if they don't, then it's okay. Now, best thing is compare with the API. Suppose the unknown part is present in the API, and its API is of course negative, then it's safe. You can argue that, Or you can analyze with a bigger data set I already talked. Check if the uncovered functions is due to non-reactive group. Suppose, and that's this thing. Suppose this is becoming an unknown. This is a non-reactive group. It can never be reactive. It's a tertiary butyl group. It's simply because the software never saw this kind of combination of atoms. That's why it is telling you uncovered. But a tertiary butyl group cannot cause mutagens. It's an inert functional group, right? I think tertiary butyl group is majority of the time it's inert in majority of the organic reactions. Okay. So now finally, after telling you that it's coming, we have the expert review colors. How do we do that? So how do we perform expert review of any alert? Now, what I mean by expert review alert? Expert review alert means you try to find out if the alert that is identified is relevant for your particular compound. That is expert review alert. How can I bring it in a better way? Nitro compounds. Nitro compounds are 50% of the time positive, 50% negative. So just having a nitro compound, nitro alert is going to be positive always. So then you find out in your compound if it's relevant or not. So first step in expert review alerts is compare with your API. Check if your API has same alert. If it is, then you can say it's negative. Now there is one condition here, that the structural environment around in the API should be the same in the impurity and in the API. Why? Otherwise it will change the meaning. You can also compare with experimentally known impurities that are found to be negative in Ames test. you can compare with them too. That is the importance of maintaining your own database in your in-house. So that suppose you find a particular impurity that you are seeing for the first time, but you have a very close impurity that you have seen in a different drug. Say for example 2 anti-diabetic drug, right? But both have 2 different impurities. In one of them you have conducted an AMS test with a CRO, right? The other one that you get, you can use the other impurity that has been found negative, and you can actually use it as an API kind of thing, right? So that is the importance of having maintaining your own database. Next one, analysis of analogs that contain the same alert. This is the most commonly used technique to do expert reviews. I have shown you before that what you do, you make a search in your database, find out chemical compounds that contain the same alert that your impurity has, and what are their experimental values. And software will do that for you. You don't have to really go and do that yourself. It will do it for you. Or you can also find out the mechanism of action of the alert. So for example, mechanism of action is what? Suppose there is a compound that has a particular functional group that that can become mutagenic only after metabolism, right? And now you are sure you have done metabolism studies, and you found out that this particular functional group can never be activated by metabolism. Then you can say that it's not going to be mutagenic because it cannot be activated. So having a knowledge of mechanism of action of functional groups is vitally important. Effect of mitigating on deactivating factors. This is a deactivating factor. This particular group is a deactivating factor for amino group. That means it prevents the aromatic amino group to become mutagenic. Those are called deactivating features. So these are some most essential way to do expert review. Let's take some examples now. This is an example where the API and the impurity contain the same. This guy did not give me a tea.
You come.
I was looking for it. Anyway, that's okay. Yeah, this is probably something. So,
Keep 2 cups.
so this is an example where the alert is shared between the impurity and the API. Okay, so that's the alert, which is an acetamide. This is an acetamide group which actually becomes an amino group once it is hydrolyzed. So this is the impurity. Actually, it's paracetamol. So paracetamol contains acetamide group, and that also contains the acetamide group. And the environment around the alert is almost same. Now, what is the environment? Environment means in the impurity, suppose there is a electron donating group in the ortho position, and in the API there is an electron withdrawing group in the ortho position. They are not same environment. So the steric environment and the electronic environment should be the same, so that you have some confidence in the reactivity of the group. If you have any doubts, then you should not consider it as shared by the API. It's simple. In this case, I think both are electron donating groups. Okay, so this is a class 4 impurity. Now, let's go to the thing that I was talking so many times, how to use analogs for reviewing an alert. The basic idea is that we should get examples of compounds that contain the same alert, where you have adequate experimental data, AIMS data, and those chemicals are similar to a query. then you can make a judgment, right? Here is an example. That chemical contains an aromatic amino group, right? But if you see closely, it also has two heteroatoms near it. Now what I do, I want to find out if that amino group is really important or not. Is it really mutagenic? You know, I know that amino group is mutagenic, but in this case, is it really true? So what I did, I made a search into database, which actually software did for me automatically. And these are the 9 analogs that I found that contain the same group and pretty much the same type of environment around it. So software will actually do this. This is one of the most fascinating things that we can actually search based on the environment around the alert. Okay, and these are, and as you can see that out of 9, 8 are negative. And this thing is actually very different. It has a amino group also here, which is not present in there. I mean, which is present in there, but it is a different type of environment. You know? So there are 2 amino groups, but that is only 1 amino group. So, but everything else is negative. So now you can say that, yeah, I have an amino group. But based on the evidence, it looks like it's negative. This is the example that I gave you from the analogy of words and sentences. So you can find out the meaning of alerts by checking out sentences, or in this case, analogs. And these things, these labels are not predictions. These are actual experimental insights that we are getting from the data. This is the most common way to analyze alerts.
And there is a breeding group also there. So are you looking into breeding group environment also?
Can you please repeat?
There is a breeding group.
What group?
Breeding.
Pyridine, yeah.
Yeah, so are you looking into the breeding group also?
No, you're talking about this one, right?
Yes.
This one.
Yes.
So this is actually far away from here. This is further away.
Yes.
This is not close to the alert.
Understood what you say. So because right now you are looking at only amino environment.
Yeah.
This one environment is saying no, this is the native.
Yeah.
So my question is no, okay, that is native. What about the breeding?
Pyridine is not an
Are you
alert.
going to look at the structures similar to the breeding group?
Yeah, I can do that, but pyridine is not an alert. Pyridine is not an alert. Only that green highlight is the alert. So the structure will tell you that this is an alert. So you should not worry about the other part because these are not relevant to metabolism at all.
Okay.
Right? Yeah.
How to select the alerts? How to take these alerts? Alerts and other also.
I think software will do that. So you don't have to learn. I'm just going through a very painful slides where I'm telling you all these steps, but these are not, you don't have to do any of this. This is just for your understanding. All these mechanical steps, software will do that. Now there is one more important thing. When you are getting the analogs, there is a problem of coincidental errors. Now I'll explain what is coincidental error. Now coincidental error is that in the analogs that you find for your particular alert, if they are positive analogs, but if they contain a known mutagenic group that is not present here in your query, then you should discard those analogs. So in the same thing, same chemical, we found these analogs, right? But this is a positive analog, there is a positive analog here, there is a positive analog here, right? But just look closely. This analog has a nitrogen group, aromatic nitrogen group, and particularly it is combined with furan ring, which is a very potent activator of nitrogen group. This thing is positive, but this nitrogen group is not present in the query chemical. So you should not use this analog in your analysis. And this alert, purple color, is called a coincident alert. Now if you go to the previous slide, you see that the software has already eliminated that analog from here automatically.
Basically, the surrounding is not the same.
Yeah, surrounding is not the same, but more importantly, it has a reason of toxicity that is conflicting with the reason of toxicity which is present in your system. So it is like you are investigating a murder, and you find the dead body and you find some food near it and some vomit, you might say that, okay, this guy probably died of for food poisoning. But then you see there is a loaded gun in his hand and there is a bullet wound. Then you are not sure how he died. Maybe food poisoning, maybe he committed suicide after having started pain in his stomach. You're not sure. But if you only see food poisoning thing, then you can say, yeah, that's the reason. So in mutagenicity, it's like a detective work. You just eliminate possibilities that can come from a different reason. Here, this compound is probably positive because of presence of this group, not because of the amino group which is present in your peritoneum. Right? That's the thing. In this chemical, again, it's a positive analog, but it contains a polyaromatic hydrocarbon system, and they are known to be mutagenic. So we should discard this analog. Here, again, polyorotic hydrocarbon. And you see, this green color is the only relevant alert that is present in your query chemical. Query chemical means your impurity, actually, right? Sure, so that's clear.
So every coincidental alert will come with a purple patch over there.
Yeah, you will not even see it. It will discard them if they are positive.
They're possible.
If this is negative, we don't care.
Right.
Right? This is a question. When I first implemented this thing into software, FD was very happy. But then this asked me, do you remove the negatives also which contain personal alerts? The answer is no. Yeah, let's keep this one. So this is the last slide where I'm showing you the effect of deactivating features. Now, deactivating features actually what they do? They reduce the toxicity of alerts. In this case, if you have amino groups and then you have two flanked tertiary beta group, right? So amino group is the alert, but these are the deactivating features. It will deactivate the alert, and these are also detected by the software. In this case, the amino group is deactivated by this sulfoside, right? Sulfone group, and this is the main alert, and this is the it's also called mitigating feature. That means it mitigates the effect of the alert. So software will tell you that. Particularly when you can see the same mitigating feature in statistical system and the expert rule system, that is a valid mitigating feature. That means there is even a possible explanation of how it mitigates. But in this case, what I did actually just before coming here, I also made a search, finding out the analogs. You see, I got 3 analogs, all are negative. They contain same amino group, same sulfone, and they are all negative. So you can say that, yeah, sure, this group looks like mitigates the effects of another group, So here is this thing, this is the most important aspect of QSAR in toxicity analysis. QSAR is a computer-driven thing. It's like a trained dog, or a powerful eagle, which can actually go and find a prey and immediately gets to it. But the eagle is not ever be able to invent a glass when its eyesight goes dark. But in this case, you can actually, using your chemist knowledge, you can actually find out the reasons of toxicity and make a decision. So that's what expert review is. There is nothing, of course you will find some difficult situation once in a while, but these are the basic principles here. To examine the reasons one after another. And after that, if you cannot decide, then you have to go with paranoid approach that, I'm not sure, maybe I should go with Ames test. But you have so many choices before you give up. Right? And thank you very much.